Once upon a time, there was a young boy named Jae-sung who loved to play ice hockey. He was only 10 years old, but he had big dreams of becoming a famous hockey player one day. Jae-sung practiced every chance he got, skating around on the ice rink near his house for hours and hours. But even though Jae-sung loved hockey with all his heart, he had a big problem. Whenever a big game was coming up, he would start to feel very scared and worried. His stomach would feel sick, and his hands would shake. Sometimes he even had bad dreams about messing up during the game and letting his team down. Jae-sung's mother, a kind woman named Eunji, hated seeing her son so upset. She wanted to find a way to help him feel better. One night, as she tucked Jae-sung into bed, an idea popped into her head. "Jae-sung, would you like me to tell you a special bedtime story?" Eunji asked with a smile. "It might help you relax and have happy dreams instead of scary ones." Jae-sung nodded eagerly. He always loved his mother's stories. Eunji sat down on the edge of the bed and began to speak in a soft, soothing voice. "In a faraway galaxy, there is a very special planet called Cryos," she said. "Everything on Cryos is made of ice and snow. The buildings are made of clear crystal ice. The trees have icicles instead of leaves. Even the animals are white and fluffy like snowballs." Jae-sung closed his eyes and tried to picture the beautiful ice planet. He could almost feel the cool breeze on his face. "The people of Cryos love ice hockey more than anything else in the universe," Eunji continued. "They play hockey all day long and never get tired. The children learn to skate before they can even walk." "Really? That's so cool," Jae-sung said excitedly. "I wish I lived on planet Cryos." Eunji smiled and patted her son's hand. "Well, maybe you can visit it in your dreams," she said. "Now let me tell you about a very special boy who traveled to planet Cryos and had the adventure of a lifetime." As Eunji kept telling the story, Jae-sung felt himself getting sleepy. The worries about his upcoming hockey game started to fade away, replaced by visions of the wonderful world his mother was describing. In his mind, Jae-sung saw himself stepping out of a spaceship and onto the icy surface of planet Cryos. The air was crisp and cold, but he didn't feel chilly at all. He looked down and realized he was wearing a shimmering spacesuit that kept him warm. "Welcome to Cryos," a friendly voice called out. Jae-sung turned to see a strange creature gliding towards him on silver ice skates. It had blue scaly skin, 4 arms, and a long tail like a lizard, but it was smiling warmly at him. "My name is Zolax," the creature said, coming to a graceful stop in front of Jae-sung. "I'm so glad you're here. We need your help." "My help? Why? What's wrong?" Jae-sung asked, his eyes wide with surprise. "The Galactic Ice Hockey Tournament is about to start. The biggest, most important hockey contest in the entire universe," Zolax said. "Usually the Cryos Comets are the best team, but this year, our star player got injured. We need someone to take his place, or we'll have to drop out of the tournament. When we heard about your hockey skills, we knew you were the one who could save us." Jae-sung couldn't believe his ears. Playing hockey was his biggest dream, and now he had a chance to do it on a team of aliens in outer space. It seemed too good to be true. "Okay, I'll do it," Jae-sung declared bravely. "I'll play on the Cryos Comets and help you win the tournament." "Hooray!" Zolax cheered, clapping all 4 of his hands together. "This calls for a new name for our new hero. From now on, you shall be known as J.A. the Blade." Jae-sung grinned as he imagined himself speeding across the ice with his new teammates, ready to take on the toughest opponents in the galaxy. With the excitement of the story dancing in his head, the young boy drifted off to sleep, eager for the space adventure that awaited him in his dreams. As Jae-sung's dream continued, he found himself being led by Zolax to a massive, gleaming ice rink in the center of Cryos City. The rink was unlike anything Jae-sung had ever seen before. The ice was a shimmering silver color, and the walls were transparent, allowing a stunning view of the star-filled sky outside. "Welcome to the Krios Comet's home rink," Zolax said proudly. "This is where we train for the Galactic Ice Hockey Tournament. Teams from all over the universe come to compete here every year." Jae-sung stared in awe at the high-tech scoreboard hovering above the ice. It displayed holographic images of the different alien species that made up the competing teams. Some had tentacles, some had wings, and some had multiple eyes. But they all looked fierce and ready to play. "Wow, this tournament sounds really serious," Jae-sung said nervously. "Are you sure I'm good enough to play in it?" Zolax gave Jae-sung a reassuring pat on the back with one of his 4 hands. "Of course you are. You're Jae the Blade, remember. With your skills and our advanced Krios technology, we'll be unstoppable." As if on cue, a door on the far side of the rink slid open, and the rest of the Krios Comet's team glided out onto the ice. They were a motley crew of aliens in shining silver and blue uniforms, each one more unique than the last. There was a tall, thin creature with shimmering green scales and a long whip-like tail. Another had a round, furry body and 4 short legs ending in razor-sharp skates. The team captain was a muscular, 4-armed alien with piercing yellow eyes and a determined expression. "Everyone, meet our new recruit, Ja the Blade," Zolax announced excitedly. The team skated over to Jae-sung and greeted him warmly. "Welcome to the team, Ja," the captain said in a deep, rumbling voice. "I'm Krios, and I've heard great things about your hockey skills. We're lucky to have you." Jae-sung felt a surge of pride at the captain's words. Maybe he really was good enough to be here after all. He looked down at his feet and realized that his regular skates had been replaced by sleek, silver Krios skates with glowing blue energy lines running through them. "Those are the latest Krios Comet skates," Zolax explained. "They're powered by a microfusion core and can reach speeds of up to 500 kilometers per hour. They also have built-in stabilizers to help you make sharp turns and quick stops." Jae-sung's eyes widened in amazement. He couldn't wait to try out these incredible skates and show his new team what he could do. "All right, Comets, let's hit the ice and show Jae the Blade how we do things here on Krios," Krios called out. With a cheer, the team took off across the rink, their skates flashing and their sticks blazing with blue energy. Jae-sung followed close behind, marveling at the speed and agility of his new teammates. As they practiced passing, shooting, and dodging, Jae-sung started to feel more and more confident. The Krios Comet skates seemed to respond to his every thought, propelling him effortlessly across the ice. He even managed to score a few goals against the team's goalie, a hulking alien with 6 arms and lightning-fast reflexes. "Nice shot, Ja," Krios praised him. "You're a natural out there. With you on our side, I know we can win this tournament." Jae-sung beamed with pride, feeling like he was exactly where he was meant to be. He had always dreamed of playing hockey on a big stage, and now here he was, about to compete in the biggest tournament in the universe. As the team finished up their practice and headed off the ice, Zolax turned to Jae-sung with a serious expression. "Get some rest tonight, Jae," he said. "Tomorrow, the real challenge begins. The other teams won't go easy on us, but I know you've got what it takes to lead us to victory." Jae-sung nodded solemnly, feeling a flicker of his old nervousness return. But he quickly pushed it aside, remembering the incredible Krios technology, his amazing new teammates, and the unshakable belief they had in him. He was Jae the Blade, the rising star of the Krios Comets, and he was ready to take on the universe. As the sun rose over the icy landscape of Krios, Jae-sung woke up feeling excited and nervous at the same time. Today was the day he would start training with the Krios Comets for the Galactic Ice Hockey Tournament. Zolax arrived at Jae-sung's room and took him to the team's high-tech training facility. The building was made entirely of clear, blue-tinted ice that sparkled in the sunlight. Inside, there were multiple ice rinks, each one equipped with advanced training equipment and holographic displays. "Welcome to the Krios Comets Training Center, Ja," Zolax said. "This is where we'll be spending most of our time leading up to the tournament. Let me show you around." Zolax led Jae-sung through the facility, pointing out the different training areas. There was a speed skating track where players could practice their acceleration and agility, a shooting range with moving targets to improve accuracy, and a weightless zero-gravity chamber to work on aerial maneuvers. Jae-sung was amazed by all the cutting-edge technology. He had never seen anything like it back on Earth. Zolax explained that the Krayos Comets used these advanced training methods to stay ahead of the competition and develop their skills to the highest level. As they entered the main training rink, Jae-sung saw the rest of the team already hard at work. Krayos was leading them through a series of complex drills, barking out instructions and encouragement. "Listen up, Comets," Krayos called out. "We have a new member joining us today. This is Jay the Blade, a talented young player from Earth. He's here to help us win the tournament, so let's make him feel welcome and show him how we train here on Krayos." The team gathered around Jae-sung, introducing themselves and sharing their excitement about having him on board. Jae-sung felt a warm sense of camaraderie and belonging, even though he was surrounded by aliens from distant corners of the universe. As the training session began, Jae-sung threw himself into the drills with enthusiasm. He skated as fast as he could around the speed track, fired pucks at the moving targets with increasing accuracy, and practiced aerial spins and flips in the zero-gravity chamber. Despite his best efforts, however, Jae-sung found himself struggling to keep up with his new teammates. They were incredibly fast, strong, and skilled, making even the most difficult maneuvers look effortless. Jae-sung started to feel discouraged, wondering if he was really cut out for this level of competition. His old anxiety began to creep back in, making his stomach churn and his hands shake. Zolax noticed Jae-sung's discomfort and pulled him aside during a break in the training. "Hey Jae, is everything okay?" he asked gently. "You look a little worried." Jae-sung sighed and confessed his doubts to Zolax. "I'm not sure if I'm good enough to be here," he said. "Everyone else is so much better than me. What if I let the team down?" Zolax gave Jae-sung a sympathetic smile. "I know it can be tough to adjust to a new team and a new way of playing," he said. "But you have to remember, Ja, you were chosen for a reason. We believe in your skills and your potential. You just need to believe in yourself." Zolax then introduced Jae-sung to the team's coach, a wise old alien named Korix. Korix had been coaching the Krayos Comets for decades and had led them to many victories in past tournaments. "Jai, I've been watching you train," Korix said in a gentle, rasping voice. "I can see that you have a lot of talent and heart, but I also sense that you carry a great deal of fear and self-doubt." Jae-sung nodded, feeling embarrassed but also relieved that someone understood what he was going through. "Fear is a natural part of any great endeavor," Korix continued, "but you cannot let it control you. You must learn to acknowledge your fear, accept it, and then release it. Only then can you truly unlock your full potential." Over the next few days, Korix worked closely with Jae-sung, teaching him special breathing techniques and mental exercises to help calm his mind and focus his energy. Jae-sung practiced these techniques diligently, both on and off the ice. Slowly but surely, Jae-sung started to feel more confident and capable. His skating became smoother, his shots more precise, and his movements more fluid. He began to sync up with his teammates, anticipating their plays and working together as a cohesive unit. As the day of the tournament drew closer, Jae-sung knew that he still had a long way to go. But he also knew that he was no longer the same scared, doubtful boy he had been when he first arrived on Krayos. With the support of his new friends, the guidance of his wise coach, and the strength of his own determined spirit, Jae-sung felt ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The Galactic Ice Hockey Tournament awaited, and Jay the Blade was ready to take the ice and give it his all. After weeks of intense training and preparation, the day of the Galactic Ice Hockey Tournament finally arrived. The Krayos Comets gathered at the Grand Glacial Arena, a massive stadium carved entirely out of shimmering blue ice. Teams from planets across the universe were arriving, each sporting their own unique colors and logos. Jae-sung felt a mix of excitement and nervousness as he laced up his Kraos Comet skates in the locker room. The high-tech skates hummed with energy, glowing softly in the dim light. Around him, his teammates were going through their own pre-game rituals, stretching, meditating, or chatting quietly to calm their nerves. Coach Korix entered the locker room and called the team together for a final pep talk. "Listen up, Comets," he said, his gravelly voice filled with determination. "You've trained hard for this moment. You've pushed yourselves to the limit and beyond. Now it's time to show the universe what you're made of." Korix turned to Jae-sung, fixing him with a steady gaze. "Jay the Blade, you may be new to this team, but you've proven yourself worthy of the Comet name. Trust in your skills, trust in your teammates, and most importantly, trust in yourself. You've got this." Jae-sung nodded solemnly, feeling the surge of courage and pride. He knew he was ready for this challenge, thanks to the support and guidance of his coach and teammates. As the Kraos Comets took to the ice for their first match, the crowd erupted in cheers and applause. The opposing team, the Vulcan Volcanoes, looked fierce and intimidating in their red and black uniforms. They had a reputation for being one of the most physically aggressive teams in the tournament. The game began with a flurry of action, both teams skating hard and fast, battling for control of the puck. Jae-sung quickly found himself in the thick of things, using his speed and agility to weave through the Vulcan defenders. Thanks to their rigorous training and advanced technology, the Kraos Comets managed to gain an early lead. Jae-sung even scored a goal himself, sending a blistering slap shot past the Vulcan goalie and into the net. The crowd roared with approval, chanting, "Jay the Blade, Jay the Blade." As the game went on, however, the Vulcans began to play even more aggressively, slamming into the Comet players with bone-jarring force. Jae-sung took a particularly hard hit from a burly Vulcan defender, sending him sliding across the ice. For a moment, he saw stars and wondered if he could keep going. But then he remembered Coach Korix's words, "Trust in yourself." Jae-sung picked himself up, shook off the pain, and jumped back into the fray with renewed determination. His teammates rallied around him, working together to fend off the Vulcan onslaught and protect their lead. In the end, the Kraos Comets emerged victorious, winning the game by a score of 5-3. As the final buzzer sounded, the team gathered in a joyful group hug, celebrating their hard-fought victory. The rest of the tournament continued in much the same way, with the Kraos Comets facing tough opponents, but always managing to come out on top. They bested the lightning-fast Mercury meteors, outmaneuvered the shape-shifting Andromedan aliens, and even defeated the powerhouse team from the galactic core, the supernova stars. With each win, Jae-sung grew more confident and comfortable in his role as a key player for the Kraos Comets. He developed close bonds with his teammates, learning from their various strengths and styles of play. Together, they became a nearly unstoppable force on the ice. As they advanced to the semi-final round of the tournament, however, Jae-sung couldn't shake a growing sense of unease. The pressure was mounting, and he knew that the remaining teams would be the toughest they had faced yet. Deep down, Jae-sung also harbored a secret fear, the fear of letting his team down when they needed him most, of crumbling under the immense weight of expectation. It was a fear that had haunted him back on Earth, and now, even in the midst of this incredible space adventure, it threatened to resurface and consume him once again. As he lay in bed the night before the semi-final match, Jae-sung tossed and turned, his mind racing with doubts and worries. He knew he would need to confront these inner demons head-on if he wanted to lead his team to ultimate victory. The question was, would he find the strength within himself to overcome his greatest challenge yet? The stage was set for a battle not just on the ice, but within Jae-sung's own heart and mind. The fate of the Kraos Comets and Jae-sung's own destiny as a hockey hero hung in the balance. As the sun rose over the icy city of Kraos, Jae-sung awoke feeling tired and uneasy. Today was the day of the semi-final match against the formidable Nebula Knights, and the pressure weighed heavily on his shoulders. He knew that the team was counting on him to perform at his best, but his old fears and doubts kept creeping into his mind. Jae-sung made his way to the glacial arena, trying to calm his nerves with the breathing techniques Coach Korix had taught him. As he entered the locker room, he saw his teammates already gearing up, their faces focused and determined. Krios, the team captain, noticed Jae-sung's unease and pulled him aside. "Jae, I can see that something is bothering you," Krios said gently. "Remember, we're all in this together. You're not alone out there on the ice. We believe in you, and we know you have what it takes to help us win." Jae-sung nodded, feeling a small surge of courage from Krios's words. He took a deep breath and began to put on his gear, trying to push his worries aside and focus on the task at hand. As the Krios Comets took to the ice, the crowd roared with excitement. The Nebula Knights looked imposing in their dark purple uniforms, their faces grim and determined. The game began with a fierce intensity, both teams skating hard and fast, battling for control of the puck. Despite his best efforts, Jae-sung found himself struggling to keep up with the pace of the game. His fears began to take over, making his movements hesitant and unsure. He missed easy passes, fumbled the puck, and even allowed the Nebula Knights to score a goal on his watch. As the game progressed, Jae-sung's performance continued to deteriorate. His teammates tried to support him, but he could see the disappointment and frustration in their eyes. Coach Korix called a timeout, pulling Jae-sung aside. "Jae, I know you're struggling out there," Korix said firmly. "But you have to remember what we've worked on. Acknowledge your fear, accept it, and then let it go. Trust in your abilities and your training. You're stronger than you know." Jae-sung took a deep breath, closing his eyes and trying to center himself. He thought back to all the hours he had spent training with the team, all the progress he had made. He remembered the feeling of scoring goals, of working seamlessly with his teammates, of overcoming challenges he never thought possible. Slowly, Jae-sung felt his fear beginning to dissipate, replaced by a growing sense of determination and self-belief. He opened his eyes, nodded at Coach Korix, and rejoined his team on the ice. As the game resumed, Jae-sung played with a new fire and focus. He skated faster, hit harder, and made smarter plays. His teammates rallied around him, feeding off his energy and determination. Together, they began to turn the tide against the Nebula Knights. In the final minutes of the game, with the score tied 2-2, Jae-sung found himself in possession of the puck. He saw an opening and took it, skating towards the goal with lightning speed. The Nebula Knights defenders tried to stop him, but Jae-sung evaded them with a deft spin move. As he approached the goal, time seemed to slow down. Jae-sung saw the goalie crouching, ready to block his shot. He saw his teammates, their faces tense with anticipation. He saw the crowd, holding their breath in suspense. In that moment, Jae-sung felt a profound sense of clarity and purpose. He knew that this was his chance to prove himself, not just to his team, but to himself. With a final burst of speed, he drew back his stick and fired the puck towards the goal with all his might. The puck sailed through the air, past the outstretched glove of the Nebula Knights goalie, and into the back of the net. The crowd erupted in a deafening roar, and Jae-sung's teammates swarmed around him in celebration. They had done it. They had won the semi-final match and secured their place in the championship game. As Jae-sung basked in the glow of victory, he felt a deep sense of pride and accomplishment. He had faced his fears head-on and come out stronger on the other side. He knew that there were still challenges ahead, but he also knew that he had the strength, the skill, and the support of his team to overcome them. The Krios Comets had proven themselves to be true contenders in the Galactic Ice Hockey Tournament, and Jae-sung had proven himself to be a true hero, both on and off the ice. With renewed confidence and determination, he looked forward to the final battle that awaited him, ready to give it his all and lead his team to ultimate victory. The atmosphere was electric as the Krios Comets prepared to face off against their toughest opponents, yet in the championship match of the Galactic Ice Hockey Tournament. The Orion Outlaws, known for their fierce and relentless playing style, had dominated every team they had faced so far. But the Comets were determined to give it their all and prove that they were the best team in the universe. Jae-sung felt a mix of nerves and excitement as he laced up his skates in the locker room. He knew that this was the moment he had been training for, the chance to lead his team to victory on the biggest stage imaginable. Coach Korix gathered the team together for one final pep talk. "Comets, you've worked incredibly hard to get here," Korix said, his voice filled with pride. "You've faced challenges and overcome obstacles that would have broken lesser teams. But through it all, you've stuck together and believed in yourselves and each other. Today, I want you to go out there and show the universe what you're made of. Play with heart, play with passion, and most importantly, play as a team. You've got this." As the Comets took to the ice, the crowd erupted in a deafening roar. The Orion Outlaws looked intimidating in their black and silver uniforms, their eyes glinting with fierce determination. But the Comets were ready for the challenge. The game began with a fury of action, both teams skating hard and fast, battling for every inch of the ice. The Outlaws were just as tough as their reputation suggested, delivering bone-jarring hits and lightning-fast plays. But the Comets held their own, thanks to their rigorous training and unbreakable team spirit. Jae-sung found himself in the thick of the action, using every skill and technique he had learned to outmaneuver the Outlaw defenders. He set up his teammates for scoring opportunities, made critical defensive plays, and even managed to score a goal himself, sending the crowd into a frenzy. As the game wore on, however, the Outlaws began to gain the upper hand. They scored 2 quick goals, putting the Comets in a precarious position. The pressure was on, and Jae-sung could feel the weight of his team's hopes and dreams resting on his shoulders. In the final minutes of the game, with the Comets trailing by 1 goal, Jae-sung found himself in possession of the puck. He knew that this was his moment, his chance to make a difference. With a burst of speed, he skated towards the Outlaw goal, dodging defenders left and right. As he approached the net, Jae-sung saw the Outlaw goalie looming large, ready to block his shot. But he also saw an opening, a tiny gap between the goalie's pads. With a quick fake, Jae-sung sent the goalie sprawling in the wrong direction, and then fired the puck into the back of the net with all of his might. The crowd erupted in a deafening roar as the scoreboard lit up, showing a tied game with just seconds left on the clock. The Comets bench exploded with joy, his teammates jumping up and down in celebration. But the game wasn't over yet. The Outlaws came back with a vengeance, determined to score the winning goal. In the final seconds, they managed to get a breakaway, a single Outlaw player skating towards the Comet goal with no one but the goalie to stop him. Jae-sung watched in horror as the Outlaw wound up for the shot, the puck flying towards the net like a bullet. But then, out of nowhere, Krios appeared, diving in front of the shot and deflecting it away with his stick. The buzzer sounded, signaling the end of regulation time. The game went into overtime. Sudden death. The next goal would win it all. Both teams played with a desperate intensity, knowing that one mistake could cost them everything. And then, it happened. Zolax managed to steal the puck from an Outlaw player and passed it to Jae-sung. Jae-sung skated towards the goal, his heart pounding in his chest. He saw the Outlaw defenders converging on him, trying to stop him. But he also saw his teammates, skating alongside him, ready to do whatever it took to win. With a final burst of speed, Jae-sung broke through the Outlaw defense and found himself one-on-one with the goalie. Time seemed to slow down as he drew back his stick, ready to take the shot. The goalie crouched, ready to make the save. Jae-sung took a deep breath, remembering everything he had learned, everything he had been through. He remembered his love for the game, his dedication to his team, and his unbreakable spirit. And then, with a flick of his wrist, He sent the puck flying towards the goal. The puck sailed past the goalie's outstretched glove and into the back of the net, just as the buzzer sounded. For a moment, the arena was silent. And then, the realization hit. The Cryos Comets had done it. They had won the Galactic Ice Hockey Tournament.